Understanding cell referencing is very important in Microsoft Excel. We have basically three types of cell references, which include the relative cell references. Relative references change when a formula is copied to another cell. By default, cell references in Excel are relative and are written plainly like B2. The next type is absolute cell references. Absolute references, on the other hand, remain constant no matter where they are copied to. Absolute cell references are written with the dollar sign like $B, $2. The last is mixed cell references. Mixed references in Excel means only part of the reference is fixed, either the row or the column, and the other part is relative. In a mixed cell reference, either the row or column has a dollar sign like $B2 or $B, depending on which segment of the function is fixed. So we're going to take the first example with a relative cell reference. We have products, quantity sold, selling price, and the total sales. If we want to know the total sales for t-shirts in the cell E6, that is quantity times unit price, we will have to say equal to C6 multiplied by D6, which is 1 million. If we want to maintain the same formula downward, that means when we come to Poro, it should be C7 multiplied by D7 and return the answer in E7. We can autofill the value in E6 to the cell E7 down to E12. The cell reference C6 times D6 are relative cell references. This means they will move to C7 times D7 when autofill to the cell E7. To autofill, we stand by the right down edge of the cell where I want to use its formula to autofill, and it shows the mouse pointer as a black plus sign we can pull down. So it has the same formula applied downward. So if you click on E11 where we have the cells of jacket, you see that I have taken C11 times D11 to get cells. This is what we call relative cell referencing. So as we are autofilling downward, the reference cells in the formula are moving a step downward as well. Note that if the autofilling was done to any other direction, like to the right, the reference cells will be moving a cell to the right too. The second is absolute cell referencing. For example, if we have the purchase prices of these items and a markup of 20%, that means the selling price for t-shirts will be the purchase price plus 20% markup. And when we come down to Polo, we should still use 20%, which is in cell C17. For t-shirts, we will take equal to C20 multiplied by bracket open 1 plus CC17 bracket close, press enter. I have made this error intentionally. Normally we have 6,000 plus 20% of 6,000 as the selling price of t-shirt, which is correct to be 7,200, but the error comes when we autofill. Let us see what happens when we autofill downward. You see that the other answers are not correct. Like in D21, let us see the formula. It is cell C18, which is empty, that is used in the formula, which gives us 4,500. And if you see in D22, it is C19 times C22, which has given us hash value. The same is applied to the other cells because I used relative references instead of absolute. This is because Excel has not understood that what we need to get the selling prices for each of these items is the purchase price plus 20%. To fix this, we need to make the cell reference C17, which contains the markup, to be an absolute reference. So the right function is equal to C20 multiplied by bracket open 1 plus $C17 bracket close. This will now mean the cell C17 will be considered absolute in the formula. So when we autofill now, we notice that 20% has been used as the markup for all the elements. If you click on any of the answers, we see that it used C17 for its calculation. We can refer to absolute cell referencing too, like locking the cell. So we have like locked the cell C17 in the formula to be used in all situations. The last is a mixed cell reference. You might want that the column should be locked when the row is changing, or that the row should be locked when the column is changing. We will use a multiplication table as an example. We commonly see multiplication tables of this nature. For example, 1 times 1 is displayed here, 2 times 1 is displayed here, and here it will be 4 times 6. If we want to design a table of this nature with one formula, in cell C32, we will say equal to $31. This will mean that when we autofill, the columns can change from column C to D, A, F, and so on, while the row does not change from row 31 times $B32. This means that when we autofill, column will be fixed on column B, while the row changes from row 32 to 33, 34, 35, and so on. After this, we press enter. We can then autofill to the right and then we autofill downward. We can see that when autofilling to the right, the columns are changing while the rows do not change, and when we autofill downward, the rows are changing while the columns are not changing. Self-referencing is a very important aspect in Microsoft Excel and other spreadsheet programs. Understanding the different cell references is an important aspect in Excel.